So I wanted to throw together a quick video about a bug that I found. It's pretty serious, and I suggest you guys don't fight as long as it's happening. So first of all, let's look at what happens when, and I'm gonna have to find the right report. I think we're almost there. Okay, so this is what happens when 1,000 melee attacks 75,000, and as you can see, the only thing that melee on this side has is like 1.5% offense. This is normal. This is what you're supposed to see. That's your 48% of offense being removed from 1,000, and that adds up perfectly. But people have been seeing some really strange results in their attacks, and I actually first assumed that what was happening was that instead of attacking with 1,000 when you lose, you were actually attacking with 200, what was left alive. But I was very wrong. I was way off. That's not how it is at all. What's actually happening is that the health is bugged. Okay, so remember I showed you the 520, right? In here, all I added, now the cavalry offense and siege offense is irrelevant because we're not using cavalry siege, but I added 0.25 health. And no, I lost it. No, I lost it. Where'd it go? Dang it. Oh, I actually got it here. Okay, so I added 0.25 troop health, and that went from 520 to 416. I was like, whoa, something ain't right here. Okay, so I added 15 troop health. It went down to 32. So we went from 520 in the first report that I showed you to 32. And the only thing that's changed is the troop health, 15. So then I was like, well, what happens if I add 15 defense? Not a huge difference. What if I add, all this, all this? This is kind of irrelevant. Let me show you what's really going on. So I started to figure out what was going on when I started to use gear instead of hero skills. And by adding 15.8 troop health, that's the only thing I added. Everything else is the same. I went from 520 to 31. By adding 43.9%, so, less than 3 times more, I went from 31 to 12. And then by adding just 3.8%, I went from 520 to 108. So what's happening? Why is, what is the math here? It's actually pretty simple. What Plarium used to do is if you had, let's say, 105 health and 105 defense, you would just take 105 times 1.05, and that would be your health pool, 110. And you can actually see it here. There is no health here, only defense, right? And you can actually see that here. The attack is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is the defense. So we'll take 100 times 1.176, and that's our health pool. And we're being attacked by 1,000 melee who will lose 48% of their attack, right? So 1,000 times 0.48, you get 480. Actually, I did that wrong. It's actually 100 times 0.48, and then times 1,000. Times 0.52, I'm sorry. 1,000, I'm really doing this a little bit too fast. Times 1,000. Times 100. It's 52,000. So each one of these has 52 attack. If you divide 52,000 by 117.6, you get your 442, which is how it's supposed to be. That's what it's meant to be. What this is doing actually is, it says 103.8, but what it's actually doing is it's taking that 3.8 and turning it into 380. So 380 is 380%. You add 100 to it, your health becomes 480. There's no defense, so your health pool is 480 now, right? So this has actually got moved over. Instead, now you have 480 instead of 3.8. So you take that same 52,000, right, divided by, what did I say, 480? And there you go. There's your 108. It moved over 2 decibels. Let's do one more. 43.9. So 43.9 is being looked at as 4,390 health. Then you add the 100 that you started out with, and you get 4,490, right? Then you take 52,000, you divide by 4,490. 4,490, and there you go, 11.58. That gets rounded up to 12. I'll do another one real fast. So again, 1580 plus 100, 1680, 52,000 divided by, what was it, 1680, and there's your 30.9 to 31. I would say that's a bug. I don't think this is how they intended things to be, so yeah, you probably don't want to fight until they fix this. Thank you. Peace.